The Justin Robert Young podcast, brought to you as always by everybody who supports us at payjurydaily.com. Again, payjurydaily.com. But if we're talking about how we support the show, oh, what do you say we just do the damn thing? Oh, friends. Hope you had a good weekend. Welcome back to the JuRY Daily program. My name is Justin Robert Young. I do it daily. It's been enough time. All right, I gave you all a couple weeks. I gave you all time to experience this. Whenever I've talked about the Fyre Festival documentary, I've said that you need to watch it and that there is one of the greatest interviews I have ever seen in years worth of watching documentaries in this doc. It is not the Hulu one. It is the Netflix one. All right? Now, that being said, I'm going to show it to you so we can talk about it, because I have a tremendous amount of questions about this. So if you have not watched the doc, understand that you're going to hear the best story from the Fyre Festival documentary. Still well worth seeing. Doesn't really get to the heart of kind of why the documentary exists, but still, it's this. It is spoilerific. Please enjoy. This is Andy King, who I'll set up for you guys, is a member of Billy McFarland's entourage, somebody that has known Billy McFarland for many years. We get the understanding that he is very much a known quantity business-wise. He knows how to get things done. And here he is discussing his role in a particularly sticky moment for the Fyre Festival, wherein they had a lot of stuff coming into the Bahamas, but they were having money problems in trying to get everything to their staging area. They had some import problems. This is Andy King in his own words.
I had left the week before for 2 days to go to meetings in Bermuda for the America's Cup, and when I came back, I'd missed the big meeting with Customs, and of course Customs had said to Billy and the gang, you need to pay us $175,000 in cash today for us to release the water. I went down. Well, Billy called me. I'm going to speak completely, this won't go that far, I'm sure, but Billy called and said, Andy, we need you to take one big thing for the team. And I said, oh my gosh, I've been taking something for the team every day. He said, well, you're our wonderful gay leader, and we need you to go down. Will you suck dick to fix this water problem? And I said, Billy, what? He said, Andy, if you will go down and suck Cunningham's dick, who's the head of Customs, and get him to clear all of the containers with water, you will save this festival. And I literally drove home, took a shower, I drank some mouthwash. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I got into my car to drive across the island to take one for the team. And I got to his office fully prepared to suck his dick. But he couldn't have been nicer. And he's like, Andy, listen, I will release all the water. I will let you serve it. But I want to be one of the first people to be paid this import fee for what you're doing. And I said, okay, great. And I got back and I had all the water that we needed.
I know that there's a lot of reasons to have reservations about that Netflix documentary, up to and including the fact that it was produced by the fuck Jerry people who are not the most savory of characters. However, However, there are a few times where you have to give the devil his due. And the fact that they got that motherfucker on camera to tell that story while he has this shit-eating grin on, that's fucking good documentary making. Now, I wanted to take this investigation on largely because we got an email. Craig wrote in after I'd mentioned the Fyre Factory, Fyre Festival documentary. He wrote, dude, wait, hold on. Oh, no, this was not Craig. This was Sean. Sean writes, I'm still confused about the water. Like, it was $150,000 of fees, right? What kind of blowjob could possibly be worth anywhere near that amount of money? Was it a deal like one blowjob equals 1 day delay on paying up? The government definitely has an inkling that they may not get paid, right? Why not just hold the water indefinitely? Now, I would like to answer Sean's questions, and then I have some questions of my own. As for, we'll go from back to front here. Why doesn't the government hold the water indefinitely? Well, I would take a wild guess and say that the Bahamian government doesn't necessarily have something that they would like to do with 2 gigantic tankers full of Evian water. They would prefer to get the taxes from the people that want the Evian water, and so that's what they want to do. There's no real worth for them to hold it, which is why they wind up being lenient, because it's better to get some money out of it than just sit on the water and not have anything to do with it. Did the government have an inkling that they might not get paid? You gotta figure. But I think it's become a running story with a lot of these Fyre Festival documentaries. Everybody was assuming that they might not get paid, and that the only way they were going to get paid is if the festival actually happened and there was cash flow. Was the deal one blowjob equals 1 day delay in paying up? Sean, let me just say this. If that is the standard by which you hold government efficiency, then, friend, I am willing to sign up for your socialist mailing letter. If that's what you're promising me, a government that's going to look at a man who smells of Listerine because he is so ready to blow somebody to get around import fees, and the government looks back and says, no, no, no. If you suck my dick, you buy 24 hours, and that's that. If that's the level of government efficiency you're promising, well then, comrade, I am here for the glorious revolution. But now, I'm going to melt in Sean's first question with the questions that I had going forward. Number 1, does Billy know or have a hunch that the customs officer is gay at the very least? That a certainly charming older man offering to blow him would be something that he would be excited about. Because, spoiler alert, friends, I've known many people from the Caribbean, from various Caribbean locales throughout my life. I spent a fair amount of time in St. Thomas growing up because my dad lived there for a little bit. I have tremendous love. I got love for all my Barbados people, my Jamaican people. I have love for my Haitians. Everybody. I feel a kinship to the Caribbean because South Florida, very much the culture is baked in. It is weaved in. Simpatico. But I will say this. Many Caribbean cultures do not quite share the fun frivolity that even performative homosexuality has. That's just my understanding. Things seem to be a little bit more line in the sand when it comes to understanding, tolerance, if not acceptance of gay stuff. So, homosexuality in general. So I would imagine that if you just randomly walked up to a customs official and offered to suck his dick without having any kind of inkling that that's something that would be received well, that's the fastest way to go to fucking jail, my man. That's a one-way ticket to jail. So I'm guessing that they had a sense that the customs guy was gay. Now here's my other question. Whether or not they knew the customs guy was gay, why, and by the way, Andy King, salute. I think Andy King deserves the Best Employee of the Century award. Are we understanding that? Like, that is above and beyond. Above and beyond being a employee. That is Employee of the Month. That's Employee of the Year. That's Employee of the Millennia. That man wanted to suck a dick. He was like, didn't even need to be talked into it. He said, Billy calls him up and says, you're gay. You want to suck this dick for us? Okay. I don't even know. I just involuntary boss nazzed. The planet's core. That might have been the sound the customs official made when he was getting his dick sucked by Andy King. It could have been them, but he playing. Why doesn't Billy McFarland go and suck that dick himself? That's my question. Why isn't that right back? When Billy McFarland calls up Andy King and says, hey, can you suck this dick? Why is Andy King's next thing, no, you suck. I mean, like, well, what is the difference between, what is the value over replacement blowjob for Andy King and Billy McFarland? Like how much better? Is he $150,000 better? I think Billy should have stepped up. That's what a real entrepreneur would have done. Real entrepreneur, not some fucking con artist. That's what everybody should have known right there and then. Right there and then. And when he fobbed that dick off to somebody else, they should have all known. No. This is a scam. This is a scam. You're fucking lying. You're defrauding investors. You are an awful sham con artist, because a real leader would suck that dick himself. Add that to the list of why Billy McFarland's a bad guy. I have all these questions. Look, if you want to answer these questions for me, that's fine. You can go ahead and send me an email, jurydaily@gmail.com. But I got a call to action for you guys. I want to know, and these can be anonymous. I want to know the moments you or somebody you saw went above and beyond for work. Legal, illegal, whatever it is. Are there any things that you've witnessed or done in your life where you're like, oh, yeah, that's like Andy King-esque. Andy King-esque. I'm talking about smuggling, bribing, whatever, just anything, tampering. If there's a moment that you or somebody you saw went above and beyond, whether or not it was on the exact right side of the law, I want to hear. Go ahead and send me the emails, jurydaily@gmail.com. If you want it to be anonymous, I will read it anonymous. I'm saying clean out your closet. Confess to the gerbs. If you confess to the jury, we will show leniency. Speaking of the email, we got a bunch of them here. JuryDaily@gmail.com. Kyle writes, I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I completely agree with you about snow. The only thing that should live up here in the winter is vampires. I accept that I brought this on myself now to survive a few more months before I can even go on a walk. Gary writes, I absolutely agree with you that living in snow is self-inflicted. I've lived in Southern California for nearly 70 years. I visited snow a few times in my life, and it was miserable each time. I don't hold with it, bub. If it helps, I'm about as white as you can get, and I'm an aging hippie who doesn't understand how the world really works, and I like mayonnaise. Dan writes, Jury, everything you said about snow last Wednesday is absolutely true. See? I told you. I told all of you snowbirds. I told you. I said I'm preaching the truth. I am preaching what you all know to be true. And I am faith rewarded on this Monday episode of the show. Everybody's emailing in to let me know that indeed I am on the right side of history. We continue again. Everything you said about snow on last Wednesday's show is absolutely true. I am indeed a rugging Viking motherfucker, and snow is fucking terrible. I hate snow. I hate being cold. Unfortunately, I just bought a house, so I'm stuck here for the time being. And to BioCow, welcome to the Pacific Northwest. I live in Spokane. Seattle doesn't get a lot of snow, and that's good because they can't handle it. The whole city shuts down when there's a heavy frost. East Side! Hopefully that's not like a gang thing. Dan concludes, anyway, congrats on not being an alcoholic. If it helps, I've attached a screenshot of my DNA profile. And he did. He's mostly European. Islander Steve writes, I just wanted to throw out there that being a weather pussy is relative. I moved out of the Bay Area to Kona on the Big Island in Hawaii exactly 1 year ago as of today. But throughout the volcanic eruptions and hurricane threats, it hasn't been colder than 58 degrees at night or early morning. Right now, I'm being called a weather douche even by my Florida friends who've been saying they have been having weather into the 40s on occasion. I've even made it to the point that the beach on Christmas Day and New Year's, so I'm over here on the island like, come at me. So don't be worried about being a weather pussy. Hawaii even makes Florida seem cold. I very much enjoy my lot in life. I like complaining about weather. Some people don't, though. In fact, one of those people is Thomas. Thomas writes, of course it's your right to hate snow, and it's everyone else's right to call you a baby who pays too much in rent. Me? I'm tired of hearing people complain every year about stuff that happens. I see only one way forward. If you live in the U.S., south of the 38th parallel, and complain about snow publicly, you're required to live in Winnipeg for 2 years, working for the sewer department. If you live north of the 38th parallel in the United States and publicly shame people for complaining about snow, you are required to work in a farm in Nicaragua for 2 years. I see no other alternative and will not be taking questions at this time. Thank you, and God bless America. Thomas, your pedantic quest to end a very specific line of questioning is an absolute inspiration to not only me, but everybody listening on this show. Eric brings us on home. The definition of masochism is to derive pleasure from unpleasant experiences. Therefore, I agree with your opinion that us cold weather folks are masochists. However, I will not accept the smug superiority from a man who prefers swamp ass to wet socks and meets deadly storms with drunken revelry. A man who would sooner have his house wash into the sea or be consumed by fire than pick up a shovel. Why do you look at the frost on your brother's windshield and pay no attention to the plank driven by hurricane-force winds into your own? You should be more careful who you call black, Mr. Pot! Oh. I mean, I never said that there were no risks to living in hurricanes or that you don't occasionally get swamp ass when it's 90 degrees outside. However, I do very much believe that there is a line. There is trade-offs. Look, life is a D&D character sheet. We all know this. Sometimes you get plus this, sometimes you get minus that. With hurricanes, you don't really have to deal with it reliably. Snow, you do. Every goddamn year, that shit's there. Being a real pain in the ass for you. You can go a decade or so without having to deal with a major storm. Man, that's my trade-off. But then again, I'm a gambler. All right, everybody. Here are our producers for the day. The Jen, PD Rave, Non-Specific Rock and Roll Martian, Joe Acosta, whoa! James, the OG Brito, whoa! And Matthew B. Hey, do you want to know when all the hot new merch comes out? Oh, we might have some new shit soon. Got working on some stuff. Well, go ahead and hit us up, bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. That's where you get on the mailing list. If you want to email the show, jurydaily@gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat @JustinRYoung, and you can join our Discord, bit.ly/jury Discord. JuRydiscord. Friends, I want you to please give a round of applause to Mr. Wacky. But more important, please, no. Die!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.